This is a video to go through the new endorsements for case records section within SchemeServe. And to get there, what I've done is I've logged in and I've gone to a case and I've specifically gone to endorsements. And you'll see now that the screen is laid out rather differently than before. What we have, first off, is a menu for memoranda and conditions, and we have two grids. And what the first grid is for, the first grid is actually for the actual endorsement items inside the case. The second grid is your library that you can choose from. Now you'll notice, whereas before we had the ability to manage both in memoranda and conditions inside the one page, we've now separated that out. So basically, this menu here deciphers what you are working on. So by default, we go to memoranda. So these two grids here concern memorandum only. And we also have conditions. And these two grids here concern a condition only. Right, so I'm going to get back to memorandum. And the first thing I want to do is add a memorandum from my library. So the way to do that is I click on any item that I've got here in my library, and I click on this green add button here, right next to the item. When I do that, it comes up with the item here, like I did before. All I've got to do then is press save, or I can edit it if need be. Press save, and then that's automatically added into this grid here. And you can see here that this icon has now been reflected, has now been adjusted to show that this particular memorandum item was added straight from the library. And there's a little tooltip there to show us that as well. When I hover over Memo 2, it will give me a small part of the overall text, and you can see here it's highlighted as a nice big tooltip. And it gives me the person who added the memorandum and the date it was added. Right. So what I want to do now is I want to add an individual memorandum. So in other words, I don't want to add it from the library. So in order to do that, what I can do here is I can click on Add New Item. So I've done that. And here I've got the same form as I did before, except now I can add everything that I want to add from scratch. So if I do that, click on Save, there we are. You'll see that my item's been added. You'll also see that the icon has changed because this was one that was individually added. So it didn't come from the library. The icon changes, and the text that hovers up to inform you basically describes the fact that this is an individual memorandum, so it hasn't come from the library at all. Now if I wanted to remove those items, I can either remove them individually by clicking the box here, and then after that you'll see this box come up called Remove Selected. I can click on that and it gets removed. There we are. And the same thing, it's exactly the same thing for conditions. If I want to basically control conditions, I click on conditions here, and these two grids now adjust and they show only conditions. Again, the same thing happens if I want to add a condition here called test. I click on test. I click on the green button. I have my test condition come up. I have the text. Click on save, and that's automatically added. And again, if I want to delete that, remove selected, and I can delete it. And there we are. There's a couple of other features I'd like to show as well. To do this, I'm going to go to a slightly different page. The reason for that is because it shows off quite well what I want to show off, and there's actually more items to show. So basically, I'm going to go to a new page, and you'll see I'm in exactly the same section. I've got my list of memoranda, and I've got my list of conditions. But you'll notice that I've got a lot more memoranda here. And what I want to show is the fact that when it hits a certain limit of records, we now either page the data or we scroll it in a nice way. And I'm going to show you what we do. For the first grid, which is obviously our unique endorsement items for this case, we have actually paged it. So when it hits a certain number of records, I believe it's 20, you've got page 1 and page 2. And basically that allows me to be able to go through each one. And obviously the number of pages will reflect how many items there are. There you go. Now, I've got a lot of endorsement library items, and what you'll notice is that this grid is actually scrollable now. Because there's a lot more items, you can actually scroll down and you can actually select and manage these all in this one grid, like this. Now, if I want to search for a particular item that is in my library, that's what this search section is for. So what I can do, if I put, for example, I can see I've got an item called theft and malicious damage. So if I start typing in theft and malicious damage, you'll see that my grid now starts adjusting to my search. So we've tried to do an intelligent search here. We believe we've succeeded. And when you start searching in here, the list will correspond to your search keyword. And you can put in pretty much anything. It will do both a wildcard search and it will try and do a proper specified search as well, as you can see here. So if I do memorandum 10, for example, you'll see that memorandum 10 is available in my list. And there we go. From there, if I want to add another one, I can add that. So if I wanted to add memorandum 10, click on that. I've got my memorandum item, and I can add that if I wanted. Again, at the bottom here, you can also see more at a glance of the endorsement library items. So for my memoranda here, if I hover over laptop or risks, what you'll see here is you'll see a nice enclosed view of the actual endorsement library item and the text that consists of it. So instead of having to click on it to see what exactly it consists of, you can just instead hover over the title, and what you will find is that you'll be able to view at a glance quite a bit of the actual item. And we believe this makes it easier in adding and selecting items for your case. And there we have it. Again, just to recap, we have now given the ability to manage both memoranda and conditions separately. So you click on these items here, and then you can manage either memoranda or conditions separately on the screen. They're no longer contained in one place. It's separate. So obviously I click on conditions, I'm able to manage conditions. I click on memoranda, I'm able to manage memoranda specifically. Again, if I want to delete, all I have to do is click that button and remove selected. And there we have it. If you have any questions, please give SchemeServe Support a call. We'll be happy to help. See you soon.